Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you are all doing well. I know we have lots of different time zones represented. It is the morning for us on the Pacific time zone, and I'm overjoyed that I get to start my morning like this. We have a really wonderful opportunity today to hear from Amanda Mahoney, who's one of our senior CCT teachers at Compassion Institute and is one of my all-time favorite teachers. Amanda has so much energy and so much joy that she brings into CCT, which is something that I think is just so special and such a gift. Today, Amanda will be talking to us about self-compassion. So today is an opportunity to check in and take note of how we are providing care for ourselves. Self-compassion can be a challenging topic for some. I think we often find it easier to provide compassion for other people. So Amanda's gonna give us a really beautiful opportunity to provide some compassion for ourselves today. I want to have every second that we can with Amanda. So with that, I will hand it off to Amanda to get us going.
Thank you, Tori. Hello, everyone. It's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for joining me today in the Compassion Institute as we briefly start to explore this idea of self-compassion. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Before we get into this practice today, on self-compassion, I wanted to just take a few moments to talk about the different steps that are going to be in the meditation that are going to bring us to the self-compassion practice. This practice is one of many of the meditations that come with the Compassion Cultivation Training course, this 8-week course that we offer. Self-compassion is broken up into 2 weeks in our teaching, and it is in the third and the fourth week. So I wanted to quickly just touch on a little bit of what happens in the first week, in the second week of our course, so that you can get the gist of how this meditation is unfolding for you in the practice while we're in the practice together. So on our first week of CCT, we talk about mindfulness. The thing that we really want to emphasize with mindfulness when we're talking about its relation to compassion and this idea of cultivating compassion is how we connect our mind and our body. So it's the intentional use of our attention, mindfulness. And what we're really trying to lay a solid foundation of right from the beginning is this idea of not only what are we thinking about feeling, but how we are experiencing feelings in our body, right? So not only being aware of what I'm feeling, but also being aware of where and how I'm feeling these emotions or experiences that I'm having. A lot more on that on week 1 of CCT. But the gist is we're wanting to have congruency between the mind and the body so that we can use both of those tools to help us really be present in any moment. The second week, we talk about loving kindness for a loved one. This idea of loving kindness is an essential sense of care and concern for someone in our lives. And in the case that we're talking about, and you will hear mentioned in the meditation, it's an essential sense of care and concern for a loved one. A loved one can be a person, it could be a place, it could be an animal or a pet. And I'll cue you on those things as we're in the meditation. One thing that we want to try to encourage you as you're going through the meditation and you're trying to think of a loved one is it doesn't have to be a perfect person, a perfect place, a perfect pet. It's someone who, when you're close to, a loved one is someone who, when you're close to, you feel those feelings of or experience feelings of warmth, tender-heartedness, a desire to be close or feel engaged with someone. And so we don't want to pick the stickiest of people if or animals or places, if that makes sense. So sometimes we've talked about this in our teachings that I have 2 teenage kids and I love and adore them. And sometimes if they're my loved ones, I think of them as teenagers. And sometimes, depending on what's going on in our lives, I think of them when they were 3 years old or 5 years old. So we can also have this loved one, this person, this place, this this animal or pet at a different time in their life where maybe there weren't as many complications or emotions going on that might distract us. So hopefully those are helpful pieces. Also, in the meditation today, you're going to hear me mention the idea of a compassionate image. Compassionate image is based on Paul Gilbert's work in compassionate mind training, as well as contemplative practices, including Tibetan practices. This is an image that we're asking you to bring to mind because it helps us to bring online almost this soothing aspect, right? That internally, when we have the presence of mind to think of a compassionate image, something that in the presence of we feel completely ourselves, that we feel that we are accepted, that we are loved, that it brings online this idea of soothing from a reactive state. So we have drive, threat, and soothe. We're bringing online that idea of soothing. So if you're a religious person, this could be divine or divinity. It could be a place in nature. It could be a person in your life. Often my Nana is my compassionate image. So just some cues there. The last thing I wanted to mention before we get into the practice is self-compassion, as Tori mentioned, can be a difficult practice sometimes. We're not used to giving our self-compassion. We're used to bringing compassion outward into the world. So what I encourage you to do and what we encourage you to do at the Compassion Institute and through CCT is if at any point you start to feel overwhelmed or if at any point you start to feel activated in any way, feel free to return to your breath. Return to the beginning part of our meditation where I'll be cueing you to be in this moment. What do you feel? What are you experiencing in your breath? What are you hearing? The moments and the opportunities for you to really place yourself in the here and now. So those are the little bit of information, the little quick, really quick and fast education on what comes before self-compassion in our meditation process and as the curriculum unfolds with CCT. I'm so thankful that you're here with me now. Let's get into this self-compassion meditation together. And Tori will be wrapping up the session for us today. So without further ado, when you have an opportunity, let's get into a comfortable upright seated position that allows you to stay both alert and awake. You can close your eyes or lower your gaze, whatever feels right for you. And I want to invite you to take a few deep breaths as you start to settle into this posture, this position, and this awareness. You could take some deep breaths on your own, or I can guide you in some deep diaphragmatic breaths. We'll do 3 together. Breathing in through your nose, allow the air to fill your belly first, your torso second, holding the breath at the top to create a little tension, which gets released as you exhale from the nose or the mouth, from the torso first, the belly second, and pulling that belly button back towards your spine. Again, breathing in through the nose, allowing air to enter your belly first, your torso second, and then releasing from the nose or the mouth, torso first, belly second, pulling that belly button back towards your spine, allowing all those lymph nodes behind your digestive system to get wrung out. And this last one you can do on your own. And then inhaling and exhaling through your nose if it's comfortable. And just returning to that natural rhythmic movement of your breath, which is just right for you. It's neither too fast or too slow. And as you settle into this space, if for any reason the posture that you've placed yourself in feels uncomfortable, give yourself permission to adjust. Mindfully move your hands, your legs, adjust your shoulders. Feel the relaxation in your forehead, your eyes, your jaw, and in your whole face. Allow there to be relaxation in your shoulders, in your belly, in your neck, and coming into this space, into this here and now, with a body and a mind that can feel settled, inviting an opportunity of peacefulness. And as we use this time to focus on our breath or our body and the sensations, maybe the rise and fall of the chest, or feeling your seat in your chair, or possibly we're even attending to the sounds in our environment as a way to anchor us into this moment. I want to remind everybody that our minds can get distracted at times, and that's okay. It's not a problem, it's part of the process. And in fact, when we recognize that our minds have become distracted, that's a mindful moment. So instead of speaking negatively to yourself or go, oh, I got distracted again, congratulate yourself on that mindful moment. It's not a problem, it's part of the process, and gently escort your attention back to the breath, the body, or the sounds in your environment. When you're ready, now let's bring to mind someone who you care about. Again, this could be a person, a place, an animal, or a pet. And picture this person, this place, or this pet, this animal. And imagine being there with them, or maybe recall a favorite memory. And as you recall this favorite memory of being in this place, or being with this person, or being with this pet or animal, notice how you feel in your body. As we mentioned earlier, we tend to default to thinking about what we're feeling. I want to encourage you to feel the experience in your body when thinking of this person, this place, or this animal or pet. Taking the opportunity to notice any thoughts or feelings of gratitude, affection, maybe warmth, thinking of this person, this place, or this animal or pet brings to your mind and your body, and now your awareness of that. And as we think about this person, this place, or this animal, and we recognize that just like me, and just like all beings, there is suffering and a desire to be free from suffering. Imagine a time when this person, this place, or this animal was experiencing some type of suffering. And notice how you feel when you think of this loved one, this person, this place, this animal in this state of suffering. What's changing in your body? What experiences are different? And using the availability of your mind, choose to focus your attention on any feelings of tenderness or a desire to help. with that compassionate mindset, recognition of the suffering, the empathy for the suffering, the wanting to help, and then a desire to do something about that suffering. Silently recite the following phrases to your friend, your loved one, your animal, or place in nature. Silently say to them, may you be free from suffering. May you be free from fear and anger. May you be well. May you be free from suffering. And may you be well. Returning your awareness to the natural rhythm of your breath again. Breathing in, breathing out. And as always, if your mind wanders, it's not a problem. It's part of the process. Congratulate yourself on that mindful moment and come back to the breath. Now I'll invite you to create in your mind a compassionate image that represents the qualities of wisdom, strength, acceptance, unconditional love, care, concern, and nurturing. This could be an image of a wise person who you have deep respect for. It could be a religious figure. This could be a place in nature. Maybe it's an expansive, deep rooted tree or a big blue ocean. Maybe it's the sun that shines on all beings without any discrimination. And imagine in the presence of this compassionate image that you are a recipient of their compassion. You can be completely yourself in the presence of this compassionate image, totally relaxed, free of judgment, and only experiencing acceptance. Again, attending to the awareness of how you're experiencing these feelings in your body. What is it like to experience unconditional compassion and acceptance? And as you stay in the presence of this compassionate image, imagine or allow the idea that it awakens in you your own source of strength, wisdom, and compassion. And from this place of this source of compassion comes from within you, silently say to yourself, may I be free from suffering. May I be free from anger and from fear. May I be well. And bringing to mind this compassionate image, being in the presence of the image, feeling that source of compassion coming from within, and bring to mind something that might be creating some stress, some pain, or some suffering for you at this time in your life. And for our purposes, let's try today to pick something that is manageable, that is a little stressful, that has some sense of pain or suffering. And for our purposes today, will try to avoid picking something really big, something you can work towards. And when you think about this stress, this pain, or this suffering, notice how you feel. Again, what are you experiencing in your body? What are you feeling in your body when you think about this stress, this pain, this suffering? And consider that when you're thinking about this pain, this suffering, it doesn't isolate you from others, it actually connects you to others. That just like you, there's countless other people who also experience suffering, pain, grief, fear. And as you inhale, imagine that you can breathe in all the feelings that you're experiencing and open your heart and allow these feelings to be recognized, to exist. And as you exhale, imagine that you can breathe out compassion not only to yourself, but to countless other people who are experiencing this similar suffering, these similar emotions, these similar feelings. As you inhale, you're opening your heart to this experience. As you exhale, you're sending out compassion to yourself and to all others who are also experiencing any type of suffering. While you're silently repeating to yourself, may we all be free from this suffering. May we all be happy and well. Again, imagining you're opening your heart to this experience of recognizing suffering in your own body, the feelings that you're experiencing. Maybe allowing or inviting or experimenting with, or simply having a knowledge that you can be touched by your own feelings of suffering, just as you're touched by the suffering of a loved one, a place in nature, a pet, or an animal. And as you continue to inhale and exhale, imagine that you can breathe out compassion not only to others who are suffering in the same way, but also to yourself with that same sense of connection. Remembering the feeling that you had when you were sending compassion to the loved one, the place in nature, or the animal, or the pet, and bringing that same sense of compassion and freedom from suffering to yourself. As you inhale, open your heart to the experience. As you exhale, send out compassion for yourself and all others who suffer. Just like with the compassionate image, we allow all of us, including ourselves, to experience this compassion, this freedom from suffering equally. Silently reciting in your own mind again, may we all be free from this suffering. May we each be happy and well. And as the session draws to a close, you can release any imagery that you've brought to mind. You can allow yourself to rest in the natural rhythm of your breath. And take a moment or two to notice any sensations in your body or feelings that might be present. I often discuss the usual suspects with tension. For me, it's my shoulders and my jaw. So at the end of a meditation practice, I like to check in with my body and my usual suspects and see if I have any tension that may have crept in, and just allowing my mind, my body, my heart to rest in that gentle rhythm of my breath, and non-judgmentally noticing any sensations. You can gently begin to wiggle fingers and toes, blink open your eyes. You can stretch and move. After our practice ends and Tori exits us, and says goodbye to us, I'd encourage you to write down what you're feeling, and if you have any questions, anything that's come up, anything you'd like to explore more. It's always an interesting exercise to be able to check in with yourself, um, right from this space that we've created. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know there's some familiar faces out there, so I appreciate you joining me again. And welcome to anyone who I haven't met. And I hope to see you in an offering of CCT soon, either with me or any of our fantastic teachers. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you so much, Amanda. That was such a beautiful offering. I'm so thankful to be a part of it. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. Hopefully, that was a lovely start to your day, middle of your day, end of your day. And like Amanda said, feel free to take a couple minutes after we close to write down any thoughts you're having. As Amanda mentioned, she's offering CCT with Compassion Institute starting this month. It'll be on Mondays from March 25th to May 13th from 6 to 8 a.m. Pacific time. So that's a really wonderful opportunity to connect with Amanda and dive deep into the topic she talked about today. With that, I'll thank Amanda for being here today. I'll thank my dear friend Logan for providing back-end tech support. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much.